Hello and welcome to my second tutorial. In the previous tutorial we installed the Python or Anaconda distribution to start working on Python 3.8 and with Jupyter Notebook and Interactive Python. So let us run the Jupyter Notebook exe, and as you can see, the command prompt is starting, and the browser, in my case this is the Firefox browser. You can have other browsers, and those are notebooks which I have already. You probably will not have them because you start from scratch. As you can see, there is a Jupyter name here and the logo, the icon, and here we have a tab with notebooks, with running notebooks and so on. Well, to start working, we just click New and Python 3, and the new notebook is created. As you can see, the new tab, you can see that here we have localhost and a number, the port number. You will probably have four nines. I have four eight numbers. I have 9 because I have already one Jupyter notebook started. It doesn't matter. So we have a notebook Untitled, and we can click in this name and just make a name for this, rename, and we have named notebook, and the file I can save it Ctrl S, and I have this notebook in this, as you can see, example IPYNB. Yeah, I have this notebook, this file already here. So now I can just start typing here. Maybe I will show you how to close the notebook, because we should close this tab, and also this command prompt we have to close, and I close my previous also, and I start it one more time from scratch. So Jupyter Notebook is starting. Command prompt, you see cmd exe with Jupyter Notebook, and now I have the perfect port, localhost 8888. Okay, where is our example? Is here, example. I click it and just fire it up. So now I will have some cells, input cells in, where I can type, for example, mathematical expressions 2 plus 4, and hit the Shift Enter. Shift Enter will execute the cell. Every time a cell is executed, this number is going up. For example, 2 minus 7, Shift Enter, and you see the output, and the this index is incremented. I can behind this is a running so-called kernel. So this is basically the Python interpreter, but it's a bit more complicated. It's some kind of engine behind the scene, and this kernel is running interactive Python. I will talk you more about what is interactive Python. It's basically more extended Python, more designed for the interactive work, not just batch work, running programs, but doing it interactively. So for now let's see some basic arithmetic operations. So multiplication is by this symbol. 2 times 9, for example, is 18. Power, it's 2 asterisks, so 2 power 9 is 250 and 56. Yeah, and now we have, of course, division. division is by definition floating point division, not in like in some other programs where we have to explicitly define the numbers to floating point, because in some other languages the division is of two integer numbers will give you integer. Here we have integer division by two slashes. So if I do that, I will get 0. Or let's see, for example, in another example, 7 by 3 is floating point, and 7 floor division by 3 is just 2. You see, and what is the rest? Rest is 7 modulo 3. Rest is 1, because you know 2 times 3 plus 1 is, as you can guess, 7. Yeah, so you have the floor division, which the result is integer number, and you have modulo, which is the rest from this floor division. It's sometimes it is useful. Of course, you can use also the parentheses. It's very important sometimes to get proper mathematical operations one by one. So you can have parentheses. And now I think it's the basis of the mathematical arithmetic operations. As you can see, we have many cells. We can refer to the output of the last cell by this symbol, underscore. You see, 250. I can even use it in some expressions. So underscore times 4 is 1000. Yeah. Or I can refer by this symbol, for example, out 8. You see, I can access this out 8, and for example, to multiply it by 10. So we can refer to the output of some cells. Now, a bit about deleting cells. You can delete cell if you highlight it, and it should be blue, not green, because green means it's in edit mode, and the blue is its command mode. You see, where we are in command mode, we can just hit X, just X, and delete some cells, so we have more place to work. Now I would like to show you, tell you about the variables. So we can substitute a number for the letter or the word. Here I define the variable a. I can check its value typing a. Normally I would have to issue the instruction print a, and it shows but in the value, but in interactive Python in the Jupyter Notebook, I can just type a and it takes care about this, and it shows the value. As you can see, where I run the program, I do not get this word out here. When I issue a command or some commands, yeah, I can issue many commands here, many lines by Shift Enter, and the results is in this cell below. Okay, so I have a command type which can show you the type of the variable. The type of the variable a is, of course, integer. It's an integer number. If I define the variable x by 1.55, it's, as you can guess, a floating point number. Yeah, it's float. So those are two basic types of the number variables: integer and floating point. You can convert the types one to another. For example, you can convert the especially easy is converting integer to floating point. So you can issue the command float from a, and you see a is just 10 and float of a is 10.0. Of course, it doesn't change the value of a. It just make the floating point value and show you, but it doesn't change the a itself. If you want to change the a for good, you have to type like this. Let's make floating point number of a and assign it back to a. Now the a is floating point, yeah. So the Python is so-called dynamically typed, has dynamically typed variables, dynamic type variables. You can change the type. Otherwise, like in languages like C or Java, when you have to define the variable as integer or floating point at the beginning of the program. And here you don't have the double, for example, type, only floating point, only float, and only two types, integer and float. Now you have also a string variable. This is just the Alice has a cat, yeah. This is just a string, and type of this is str string. What is fun is you can convert string to a number, but only if the string consists of a number. So if you have this string, yeah, and it contains in parentheses 1.232, its type is of course string, but you can convert it to float, yeah, float s. And for example, you can assign a number to this string, and then this a is a number, yeah, it's floating point number. So it's the way of converting a string containing a number to a number. For example, if you input a string by the input command, I will show you later, and later you have to convert it to the floating point. So converting integer to floating point is okay, but you have to be careful converting floating point to integer. If you have this floating point number and you will convert it to the integer, you just lose this floating point. You know what is after the decimal dot, yeah. It's not good way. You should do it rather this way, round. You should have use the function round to round x to the closest integer number. Now let's see, if you assign the round to x, what is the type of x? It's already integer. So this is the way to for converting floating point, if you would like to do that to integer. Now I will show you how to get a guess what makes a function in Python. You can you can hit the shift and hit the tab, and you have this explanation: round a number to a given precision in decimal digits, yeah. If you do not give the precision, you just get rounded to the integer number, yeah. So we have integer, floating point, strings, and the fourth type of the simple variables is Boolean. It's bool, it's true or false. For example, is active. You should name Boolean variables this way. Is active. it should answer some questions. Yeah, is active? Yeah, is active. Is active? Yeah, true. This is type. This type is active. Is Boolean. It's true or false. Yeah, it's true or false. And you can use it in some loops and conditions, if conditions. I shall show you later how to do that. Okay, you can convert Boolean to integer, and let's see how it works. If you convert the false, you get 0, yeah? If you convert the true, you get 1. So it's quite logical. We can use true and false, or 1 and 2 after conversion, as you see. Okay, so let's see the simplest possible instruction print. Let's make a hello world. Hello world. This is traditionally a first program. The programmist should write, print hello world. It's very simple. And if you forget what is the command, so you print line, or you can type just pre, for example, and hit tab, and it will auto completion. It will get auto completion. Or round. I hit tab, and this is the auto completion. Yeah. You can get help about commands by this function. Help in the parenthesis print, and it will give you help on the print command. Yeah, what is the print? What argument? It's basically similar to hitting the shift and tab on the command. Yeah, and maybe expanding it. It's basically the similar information. So I think it's the basics of working with this Jupyter notebook. I think it's enough for now. You see what is the arithmetic operation, how to do that, how to define a variable, interconvert in other type, and you see the type command, you see the print and help. So we can basically start working with Python. Of course, we can define other variables by some operations by variables we have already. So we have a and x, and we define z as multiplication of a and times x, and so on. So please experiment with this, and in the next tutorial I will show you basics of working with Jupyter notebook. I will no longer show my face here on the right side because I will show you just this notebook here, and I expect you will fire up your notebook, your Jupyter notebook on the right side here, so you can work looking at me. So thank you very much, and if you like my work, please subscribe and support my channel. Thank you.